Alright, Putney School Summer Artists, get ready for the show. Hi! What an honor to follow today's incredible fashion show. Let's hear it for the fashion show. Truly inspiring. We've all been talking about it. So let's let all of that color, inspiration, ferocity just seep in. We've got about an hour's worth of material to share with you, faculty sharings tonight. I'd also like to encourage you, if you haven't yet, either later on tonight or tomorrow, to check out all of the faculty work in the gallery across the way. Gorgeous stuff. I think that's all I got. So, with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Caroline.
I am so honored to be here with all of you today and to have Maggie's dancing to my song. This is called Antonia, and Adam on trumpet. From the tick to the chime, fingers and toes wrapped in lace, fur coats, frost and freeze, the lands of knees, slip from the fire on your face, you drag your brush through ashes and dust, painting your fire escape. Cries turned to screams. How small he was mean. Soot from the fire on my face. And I am craving your love. Paint me a picture in gray. And I am craving your love. I'll see you in Paris someday. Moonlight intertwines with hope like a vine, turning this home to a cage. And the green it grows thick, so strong, so quick. There's so many things I could say. And I am craving your love. Paint me a picture in gray. And I am craving your love. See you in Paris
no car. I have no health insurance. I have no pets. No secretary. No decent pair of shoes. No bank account. No credit. No fortune. No hope. Really, but all these are luxuries I can do without. What I really need, what I really long for is a voice. Not a speaking voice. I can speak, you hear me speak now. I mean a voice. Unmistakably my own. A voice that voices who I would be were I to be someone with a voice. Someone who with each spoken word is unfailingly themselves. Each moment, each syllable, each vowel, present, whole, alive. A voice around which to hang a body like mine. I mean, these hands are perfectly fine. They're well proportioned, they're functional, but they have nothing to say, nothing to express. A voice. Oh, for a horse with wings. Hearest thou, Bassanio, she is at Milford Haven. Read, and tell me how far 'tis thither. If one of mean affairs may plot it in a week, why may not I glide thither in a day? Then, true, Bassanio, who longs like me to see my lady, who longs. Ooh, let me bait, but not like me. Yet longs, but in a fainter kind. Oh, not like me. For mine is beyond. No, say, and speak thick. No, love's counselor should fill the bores of hearing to the smothering of the sense. How far it is to this same blessed Milford. And by the way, tell me how Wales was made so happy as to inherit such a haven. But first of all, how we may steal from hence, and for the gap that we shall make in time from our hence going and our return. To excuse me, but first, how get hence? You should excuse me more we're here begotten, and we'll talk of that hereafter. Prithee, speak. How many score of miles may we well rid twixt hour and hour? Thank you, Kendall. Thank you, everyone.
Next up, we have Taylor.
Hello. Hi. So I wrote this week, and I wrote it about y'all. And it's called Future Poem, exclamation point. Future Poem. I'm not scared of the world ending, whatever that ending may be. I ain't ever scared. It has been very easy for me to forget my fearlessness in the past, so I have to write it clearly. I have to say out loud multiple times a day, I ain't ever scared. And I can't ever let them ain'ts turn into am nots, because that is a kind of fear that I inherited. I do not want it anymore. I have been practicing refusal. I carry crows in the gold link chains they collect on my shoulders. When the future arrives, we each will count our riches and name what belongs to us and us alone. I hope we will get to keep these precious metals we share. I wrote this poem for those who will carry me towards the future safely. Y'all, every single one of you all, shining in your steadfastness, unafraid and vocal in ways I was not allowed to be, loudly knowing yourselves and naming that self as inherently knowable, smashing your inheritances, dancing on the sand and through the flames. The world is a new and brilliantly terrifying place because you are in it, demanding and refusing and cherishing yourselves and one another. I have all these words and all this caring, but very little knowing about what faces us on the other side of what we are surviving in now. New York City meets the sea. California faces the core of the earth and the sun and burns. Georgia is Georgia, and Texas is Texas, and no one knows exactly what that means but us because our people stayed or went back, and here we are writing and reading poetry. We have passed absurdity. I do know that like the colony of carpenter ants devouring Leonard's Keep, like the squirrels and the chipmunks scaling the bird feeders at dawn and fleeing at the sight of humans, we will continue to bring bread rolls, Auntie Annie's, corn syrup, honey, butter, and ramen home to nourish one another. I am because you are. I know there will be a world built for me in this lifetime because you all are building it brick by brick. I am next to you, and I believe in you. Declare yourselves an island and win. Revel in the joy of individual triumph. There is such an everlasting love in saying trans people are divine, and free Puerto Rico and Hawaii and Haiti and give back the land. And black is beautiful, yes, and also deeply human. And there are those of us who are still alive. There is tangible freedom in saying there are people who love me, and some of them will always love me, no matter how many selves I step into. I hope you possess or will one day possess the strength to turn towards someone misgendering, misnaming, taking from, and erasing you and say, that means nothing to me. I do not care. Intention is a hallway of distorted mirrors, but I can see you and I very, very clearly. I hope one day you will be free and know your own love enough to say to someone who holds you with tenderness and grace, I am because you are. You are important to me, and I care for you. I will tell you this more often. I hope y'all wear your bonnets and your do-rags out in public, to work and to class. I hope y'all play itty-bitty piggy as loudly as you can in every small-town parking lot you find yourselves in. I hope you abandon respectability politics and scoff at those who seek to diminish you by saying, this is just the way things are. Their fear is theirs alone. They must be forced to carry it without you. I hope you know and will grow to embody the indisputable fact that being trans and queer is a gift crafted with intense devotion and delivered to you by your community. I hope you know that blackness and brownness is a blessing, and you do not have to prove anything to anyone because your family already did it for you. You do not have to smile if you do not want to smile. I hope you know that sometimes there are things so sacred and so true that understanding will feel like a cold mountain spring on a 90-degree day, and like Langston Hughes, you'll rise up out of the deep end yelling, it was cold in that water, and be blissed back into living. I am next to you, and I believe in you. I will follow your lead, and I'll see y'all at the end of the world.
Let's give that a minute pause. Take a breath. Take that in before we move to the next one. All right, next up we have Matt.
Okay. In a moment, I will emerge onto the temporary stage assembled on the shop floor, and looking out upon a vast sea of folding chairs, I will congratulate them, the fine men and women seated before me, for successful first year of operations at our plant. A year's production averaging 1,000 automated vehicles a day. A bold stride towards Rust Belt revitalization. I have delivered this speech 6 times this week. I applaud them, and in turn, they applaud me. Tonight will conclude what should be a triumphant trip, only I am still far from the halogen glow of the stage, interned instead in the restroom, as a week of the local cuisine, of chicken fried steaks, burgers, cheese curds, has wreaked havoc on my digestion. With every pilgrimage into the heartland, I am reacquainted with suffering. I feel I am Gautama Buddha renouncing the palace at Kapilavastu. Not 5 minutes into exchanging pleasantries with the floor boss, I feel a familiar rumbling, and I confess I will not be able to deliver my speech without relieving myself first. Mortified at the prospect of a rank and file spotting my wingtips under the stall door, I am shown to a single-use manager's restroom. A thoughtful accommodation, but even these environs are subtly devastating. If you'll permit me to elaborate on my surroundings. Hanging in the air is a scent, not unlike sunscreen or cheap rum, spritzed from an ovular device beside the mirror. At my right is a small table with a vase of plastic flowers and a wicker basket containing communal deodorant, floss, and disposable razors. On the opposite wall is a machine capable of dispensing tampons and pads. Beside it hangs a watercolor of umbrella-toting couples walking arm in arm across the slick cobblestones of a Parisian street. Why? What could this image mean? I feel confident no other patron of this restroom has been to Paris. What is Paris to them? Does it conjure some mythic, far-off notion of urbanity, a glimpse into an imagined world, perhaps the bustling, incomprehensible world they suspect I hail from? Every restroom I found myself in this week has been more or less interchangeable, containing variations on these disquieting decorations and amenities. But the greatest indignity common to each comes courtesy of a cost optimization measure I myself perhaps ratified, a week's condemnation to single-ply tissue. I close my eyes, hoping to escape these oppressive surroundings. I transport myself to a different restroom, my special room, a place I've visited many times under such circumstances. With a deep breath, I'm there. A private elevator opens to an immense corridor, terminating at a door designating a single-use restroom. Gripping the handle, I feel the door is quite heavy and sits perfectly snug with its frame. It opens and locks with a comforting, pressurized hiss. Inside, the ventilation hum provides a generous noise floor. There is no Hawaiian breeze scent diffuser, no odor whatsoever. The tissue is quilted quintuple ply, not spatially economical, to be sure, but this is what we are permitted to indulge in our fantasies. These are the non-negotiables. The truly remarkable feature is as follows. The walls, floor, and ceiling are constructed from two-way glass, meaning that while I relieve myself, I may watch over the comings and goings of the world below. I am blissfully suspended, invisible. From the outside, the bathroom appears nothing more than a small cubic protrusion of the same mirrored glass making up the rest of my office. It's easy to imagine, in such comfort, forgetting myself for an hour or more. I open my eyes and am not so fortunate. Why am I in this miserable restroom? Naturally, because I have been ruined by the foodstuffs of diners, truck stops, and county fairs, but moreover, because I am hiding. Hiding because the people out there are so uniformly warm and chatty. My suspicions unfounded, they don't seem to begrudge me the least for my coastal demeanor. They want to thank me for taking the time to come all the way out here to meet them and to see the good work they are doing. They are easily pleased. Simple gratitude, simple appetite. I think of the volume of chicken fried steak, burgers, and cheese curds needed to run this plant for a year. I think of equations for converting chicken fried steak, burgers, and cheese curds into automated cars. I think of the constant gastrointestinal immiseration these simple folk must face, and it is nearly too much to bear. Then, it all strikes me as absurd. How shameful and misplaced this pity is. Of course, these grievances are the byproducts of my charmed life, one that has made me finicky and delicate. Theirs was a rugged, abiding nature, and I was shredded as easily as tissue. Worse, shredded easily by tissue. A pitiful creature indeed. It's not that there was anything fundamentally wrong with the available food or toiletries. They simply belonged to a different type of people. I was a stranger, a humble guest in their territory, and how condescending was I to think that they'd want things any other way. By the same token, they would scoff at my diet of leafy greens and heirloom grains. They would blush were I to explain the operation of a bidet. I don't mean to insinuate anything ridiculous, that these simple folks were in some way essentially, immutably, biologically different than I. Just that their life world had molded them to a particular shape, as mine had I. I choose to be content with this conclusion. I feel neither party is at fault, and take comfort in knowing that after my closing remarks, I may fly home, and we may peaceably go about our business, ignorant of each other's lives. This revelation is followed by another. I now realize I've exhausted the last of the bathroom tissue and see no available roll to replace it. I feel a slight pang for the manager who will next use this restroom, but cannot indulge such pathos since, checking my watch, it seems I'm already quite late for my appearance. The plant manager must still be at the mic, doing his best to maintain the buzz, but is likely running out of material. I flush, wash my hands, and go give my speech.
Next up, we have Freya.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I've been thinking a lot the last 2 weeks about the things that return to us that we keep writing about and thinking about and the way pieces speak to each other. So that's on my mind. I'm going to share a few short poems, the first of which is called A Vision. To peer through a microscope is to act as a concordance of one. We let ourselves so often forget the whole, embrace the space between, comfort in the small, beyond the visible. Transposed universes wrestle our way in. In looking outwards, I want to be in, the self a part of the fractal, as if metonymy were all I'd ever asked for, as if suspension of disbelief would ever be enough. It's the birds alone whose spectacle is flight. If I were a rook, a heron, in soaring, expanding wings, I wouldn't settle. Perch, birds skim so close to the ground. The beak, subconscious explorers. And if I could, I'd be the internal movement of the mussel shell, bustling in barnacle weight, inked blue intertidal workings, wedged, waiting for evening to come, for sunset to settle, for winds to melt. When the bivalve opens, stretched, you can outline a muscle to a heart. Shuffle, move with the foot, pulse in metallic light. To understand the force of the muscle breaking through its own shell, I'd want to mend fragments of all these things I've seen too closely, been forced to forget. To track shells shattered from the shape of a heart, a bruise or a bend, the lens that's cracked, the flesh that slips beneath a thumb. To microscope, to to control my vision, bring creatures and crevices for a second to suspend, turn in this blue-black I'd like to imitate, inhabit. So there was a 4-year period where my roommate was in medical school. And this poem comes from that time, and it's titled Midway Through the Semester of Anatomy. Fragments labeled, cleaned of muscle, left as an ivory cell. I've just learned they've been visiting for weeks, such furtive guests. They connect to form a body, a shade darker than the carpet, those vertebrae on fishing wire, the empty box where fibula and clavicle can't share a home. This is my room. There are bones next to my water glass. I'd like to reach out, explore a lacy palm. Bones of my hand won't touch scattered pieces. One of my favorite things to do is to read news articles, magazine pieces, and decide to write from them. And that's sort of the story behind this poem that's called Cleaning the Whale. Across from the ocean, the annual vacuuming commences. In New York, 1969, no one saw the blue whale. So the model of fiberglass hangs in the Hall of Ocean Life here in the Natural History Museum. It hangs suspended in a mirage of ocean. We wonder why it doesn't fall, why it's imagined, how we could hear sounds like the whale does, reverberating so far away. I return wanting to know if I could hide here as the whale does, as if it could protect me in the scope of things. Someone has to clean this, has to vacuum each curve of whale spine, iron bone, the inside of even the blowhole. Trusses cradle the whale, keep it balanced in the ceiling, and what if it sank? No cobalt, cerulean, this carcass model mirror of what is supposed to be alive. Somewhere the humpbacks are gathering, ready to swarm Manhattan, echoing, readying for a return to water once home, some landscape that can't be owned. Somewhere the bubbles create space for prey, for a carving out, for some emotion, reaction we can't unpack. Somewhere the humpbacks call thousands of acorn barnacles latched to black whale skin, shell box to whale to shell, some scars of falling of flight, ovoid flailing. Somewhere the whale surfaces, ship shift, water streaming into air, echo and rocking, the baleen to rest. Sudden curvature of the blue whale invites pause, fractured glance, fragments of a back extending horizon of water to air. The heart, all 600 pounds, has been plasticized. It will last 1,000 years. And this blue whale is dead, pony-sized plastic heart. So I'm going to end with a poem about a magical place in Florida called Weeki Wachee, home of the live mermaid. Somebody knows it.
I was training to be a mermaid.
We'll have a conversation. And it's a series of persona poems that I've been working on about these mermaids in this underwater spring. So it's called To Be of Weeki Wachee. You enter the shell, the tail, curvature of costume, feel the shimmying into tail, flippers waiting to secure feet. Learn how to breathe again. Find the tube of oxygen. Listen to where you left it. Listen to the director. Be a mermaid. Smile. Makeup on for the camera, the crowd. Be a mer-sister. Breathe as one, dance as one. Let the body become the mind without legs. Let the body be strong. Let the turtles visit. Laugh at the schools of fish swarming. Backflip with a manatee. Prepare to enter the tube. Prepare to be under the ledge. Prepare to enter as if you, too, are a fish finding your way home. Hold the breath tight. Let the bubbles mask you. And masked be all that you are, all that you offer. Swim into the current. Be the backflip performance. Be a citizen in this, the world's only city of live mermaids. Population 4. Tuck in, plie, cover your chest in the little springs. Remember you have an audience. Remember how to swim. Find a way to breathe, a way to smile. Find a way to wave. Reveling in some glory of underwater performance. be a siren, slash through grace like a plunge taken. Thank you all.
Next up, we've got Adam.
Wouldn't you just wash my hair in your fingertips tonight? I'm not asking much, no, I'm not asking much. I may not be perfect, I take the time I can. Neither you nor I will know if I stand before you, man. Oh, what a way to live this in.
Very good. All right, everybody. Let's give one more round of applause for those fantastic performances by Caroline, Matt, Freya, and Adam. Wonderful job. All right, next we have a short block of programming of multimedia and film presentations by Vera, Maggie, Keitra, and myself. So first up, we've got a short presentation from Vera. I don't know if you'd like to... There? Yeah, I don't know if Vera would like to come up and direct, or but we're just gonna let this happen. And let's have another round of applause for those fantastic fashion show performances today. I just want to continue to emphasize how fantastic and flawless everybody is out there. Do you want to? A little impromptu? All right. What about the stool? Okay. Do you want to use the stool? Okay. Wow, this is like really special. They're going to load up a music video that I was very fortunate to get to work on a couple years ago. It's a music video for the Shins, the band, and it was directed by Jamie Cleary, who most recently directed the stop-motion sequence in The Little Prince. And some of the other animators on the project were Anthony Scott, who was the lead animator for Coraline, and also Mike Johnson, who co-directed The Corpse Bride with Tim Burton. So I really want you to look for at the end, there's this falling scene where the main character is like falling through the air, and it's like mind-blowing, like he totally turned it into an action movie. It was also the premiere of this like Volo crane, and it was released in 3D, but I had nothing to do with that. I built a lot of the train sets, the interior one, and some of the exterior. I built a lot of mountains, but my main thing was painting the big skies. So please enjoy. Make sure the sound is up because the music's so good, it always makes me happy to hear it. Character creation, all of it. And now we can go to the next. Okay, this is a collection of some of my live paintings and drawings, all from live models. Also thrown in there is a mural battle I did with a mentor student. We weren't battling, we were the same team. It was like an 8 by 9 foot mural that we created within a couple hours, like battling other like street muralists in LA. And then also thrown in is a little stage set by one of my students, Journey New Light. So click this. Oh, the music is by somebody that I love very dearly. Their name is Rin, and they're releasing an album soon. So click this part too. next up we have a video presentation by Maggie. And I don't know if you want to say a few words from up there or if you have anything you want to add, but
Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. I'm sharing an excerpt of a 45-minute long solo, and it's never been shown in this way before with a captive audience. It's normally an installation, so I'm super excited. And it was made this February in collaboration with this artist named Callie Spooner, who I work with, and she was in London and I was in New York, and we filmed it together remotely. And it's now on exhibit at this gallery in Paris while we're here, so I'm excited to share a little bit of it.
we were able to do a quick test and then roughly conquer it on top of it and see how that was going to look. We had a shot where the girl is levitating this card and she has it right up to camera. She pulls the card back and she turns. And we wanted to shoot the card practically. We didn't want to have to put it in as a
awesome stuff. Okay, next up we have are we?
Hold up.
Technical, okay.
a short film from Keitra. Keitra, I don't know if you want to come up and say anything. Or do you want to... Perfect. Oh, can we pause it? So ahead of the Supreme Court decision on DACA, which essentially was the question of whether to end the DACA program or continue it, Trump was trying to end it, which it's a program that allowed children who had come to the U.S. To basically have like 2-year work permits and to do certain things that other undocumented people don't have access to. I was asked to direct a series of films by an advocacy group called United We Dream. And what was really cool was that the films were submitted as part of the Supreme Court amicus brief. So basically, like, this film was shown in the Supreme Court as evidence to continue the DACA program. Yeah, so I feel very proud to be part of that history.
At the end of the day, before being a judge, before being a pastor, a preacher, a soccer player, any title, basketball player, you're a human being. Before being an immigrant in any country, you're a human being. You're human first. I was 9 years old. Mama said I school. I was born in Nigeria and I moved to the States when I was 9 in 2003. My family moved here for better opportunities and to kind of start a new legacy, I guess. Being undocumented affects everything. Things like health insurance, if you're a student, things like financial aid, can't start a business. You can't work, you feel like you're a prisoner. As a kid, you watch your mom just struggle and you feel really helpless and you're not able to do anything. I had to leave school for my sister to finish because we couldn't afford to pay tuition for myself and my sisters. Little by little, we started just losing everything. And then my dad got deported, so I had to step up. I had to kind of become a dad for my younger siblings, and I had to become a better friend to my mom. It's either you work and figure it out, or you lose this fight in life. I started noticing how music made me feel and how therapeutic it was produced to be sing or rap into a mic and let that feeling go. And then when you let it out to the world, people connect to what you're saying. A big fear of mine is my brothers growing up without family, without mom, myself, or my sister, because they're young. So what would they do? How would they eat if I was deported? When I first received DACA, man, I was with my mom and my sister, and we were just praising God. She was just really, really happy. Just yes, this is good. This is something, we can do something for mom, with mom, for ourselves. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray that you shall just keep us safe, oh God. We pray for our family. I just started going harder with everything that I was interested in doing. Started my own LLC, started my own company, all that cool stuff. Started taking music seriously, but I was still working. I was able to tour, get on the road, and I worked on a project that won 2 Grammys. Thank God, my following is spreading. I have fans in DC, Maryland, Virginia, people in New York, Atlanta, LA. DACA recipients, a lot of us are here to make a change. We're here to grow with the country, and we're here to provide for our families. My name is Emmanuel. I am a son I am a brother, I'm a friend, I'm a lover of music, I am a DACA recipient, a human being.
I was brought to come and leave.
Oh, the singer is Manny Wells. If anyone wants to check out his work.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Keisha. So important.
On the subject of humanity, or lack thereof, I made a film for a 7-day short film competition. And I decided to use the script written solely on LinkedIn autoresponses. So, just a little peek at what robots can do.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? Long time.
Long time no see.
Indeed.
Indeed.
How have you been?
Good. And you?
Good. Thank you.
What do you do?
Working.
Aha. Just kidding.
Haha. Thanks. How's it going? What's your number?
I'll call you. Later.
When? Now?
Right now? Eric Hansmith? Hello there. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good to know. So, tell me, how can I help you?
Nothing.
No.
Tell me about it.
May I call you?
Yes? Yes, you can.
Great. All the best. Take care.
Please keep in touch.
Sure. Thanks. Just kidding. Nothing. Why? What happened?
What do you mean?